Welcome to Kaks Bar and Podcast, Canada's first podcast bar. What that means is you can come here for food, you can come here for drinks, you can also come here and record a podcast. Come on down, we're located in downtown Calgary, Alberta in the Beltline area. See you soon. And we're rolling. I'm here today with most of the Deportables. They're all comedians. We're just missing Tehseer, right?
Yep.
Okay, hi Tehseer. You're not here.
Screw you,
Anyway, we have Omar, we have Sukh, and we have Anton. They've all actually performed at Laughs at Kaks Comedy Night, which is the comedy show that we host every Thursday here, Kaks Bar and Podcast. So if you haven't been, you should definitely come by. I'll put it in the show notes how you can even get in touch with the producer of the show if you ever want to do an open mic. But yeah, let's just get into it. Sukh set this up today. I'm totally glad you did. I always enjoy, I think talking to comedians is like my favorite podcast that I do. Because like in our podcast, we talk to anyone, everyone. So I've had on like athletes, musicians, regular people, but comedians is always a treat every time I get you guys on.
You're surely not a comedian, right?
I mean, no, I'm not a kid.
That's why you like talking to comics.
Oh, yeah, I just like laughing, man. I like laughing.
Comics.
I hate them. No,
Comics are like completely normal with non-comedians, but they lose it on one another.
Exactly.
Like this is when you get to know how comedians really are when you hang out with them.
Yeah. Well, actually, if to be honest, like I've learned a lot about the comedy scene from doing the, having the show here, and there's there's a lot behind the scenes, man. Like a lot of positives, but definitely there's all like turfy shit going on. Like that's like something I've kind of noticed now. I mean, like I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, right? And with Rogan, I've always heard about the LA scene being kind of like pretty crazy before he kind of indirectly kind of organized it, if you will. And then when he went to Austin, I guess like the healthy like structure of the comedy scene went with him, and then I guess the LA scene went back to just like comics sandbagging each other.
Shitty, you mean, right?
The thing is about like big cities like LA or like here in Canada, we got Montreal, we got Toronto. These are big enough cities that even if the scene is fractured, you won't be able to tell.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Montreal, they have an English scene, they have an Arabic scene, they have a French scene, a Hindi scene, and even if they're fractured, it doesn't really make that big of a difference.
Right.
Or like Calgary is in that spot where it's not too small to be like for the community to be super tight.
Yeah.
It's not too big. Then when the community fractures, it doesn't affect the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm only absorbing this from one location, right?
Right.
And then I'm just hearing and hearsay. Like it kind of sucks that we're opening up with some negativity.
Just getting it out of the way, I guess. Yeah.
But I just didn't realize that, because I, being a bit ignorant of the whole thing, I always thought like, hey, aren't comics all like happy people that
no, not even close.
That's a good one. That should go in your routine.
We do comedy because we're so happy and cheerful all the time.
Yeah. I hope so.
Riddled with mental disorders of all kinds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was kind of depressing.
That's just Anton. There you go, happy comedian.
I have this theory, and you guys can correct me or whatever. But is it because you guys you're making laughing your job, right? So are you guys just maybe like disorienting your neurochemistry because maybe you're releasing that happy hormone way more like unnaturally, if you know what I mean?
I think
I know what I mean. Like,
I think it is abusing the happy hormone, right?
Yeah.
And then there's this thing going on, like you have to think a lot before you say something on stage. Will this joke be good for everybody? A lot going on your writing stuff, and you have to think on stage as well. So probably that's the only reason why everybody is miserable.
You guys have happy hormones?
Yeah. See?
Why do you guys do it?
Tell me about those.
I think the thing is with the hormones, once you become a comedian, you're on the other side. You're not the receiver anymore. You're the one making people laugh.
Yeah.
And then you become an analyzer of human behavior. You got to break down, like, when I pause, what's going to happen. Like, it's just like break down all these things that for the audience seems very natural.
Yeah.
But we work on this to get to that stage.
Yeah.
Right? Well, and
Yeah, go on.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say, like, regarding the hormones, for me at least, I feel like they're released somewhere else. You know, like I'm starting to enjoy other stuff in life
behind closed doors.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, I don't know, going on hikes and shit. You know, like I never used to do that, but now it's like, yeah, this is my happy place, I guess.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed as well is like after I started doing comedy, I try to find like distractions a lot more now. As you said, like you started going on hikes, which you've never done before. For me as well, like I started doing some video editing stuff, which I've never done before. Playing a lot more video games to let that I don't know, frustration. That's not the right word, but let that out. So
Yeah,
it's not same for everyone. Like Anton, on the other hand, is like
I'm a different side.
he's a different species. So
I get pleasure, like physical pleasure, from making people laugh at things they're not really supposed to.
like
Dark, screwed up stuff, war, genocide, starvation, murder. Like, I don't go dark for the sake of dark. Like, I used to do that when I just started out comedy. It was all about, the shock factor, making people uncomfortable. That was my goal. It's not anymore. Now I want to make them laugh. Like, strategically, I have my own approach, the way I write jokes, but I want to stick to that theme, is that making dark stuff okay. And it's a good thing, because comedy is a coping mechanism. That's what it is for me.
okay.
Coping with dark thoughts, with whatever, with weird dark shit happening all over the planet, or stuff happening to you. That's what comedy is. It's a defense mechanism. And if I can make people feel funny or happy about those things for a bit, maybe the world will not see such a screwed up place, even for like 5 minutes at a time for them.
Okay. I wanna dive a little bit more into when you said you the dark things you find funny. Okay, but no, Anton, I was just thinking like you're not serious about your emotions towards it. It's not like you want to kill people, right?
It's not about killing people. I talk a lot about. I'm Ukrainian. I talk a lot about war in Ukraine and all the bad stuff, dark stuff happening out there. So I still understand the suffering of those people. I still understand what they're going through. But at the same time, I find it within myself to make jokes about it.
Yeah.
Even though many people think, well, that's weird. Why is this Ukrainian guy joking about war in Ukraine? But that's the only way I can feel better about it. About all the suffering, about all the destruction. Like, my hometown was bombed with missiles for 2 years now. Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? Well, it sucks, but what can you do? I can do nothing.
How long have you been in Canada for?
I've been in Canada for a while. I came here in 2014.
Okay. So it's more like your family back there and everything.
Not a lot of family. I have some parts of my family that have been under Russian occupation for basically 2 years now. But they were like distant family. I didn't talk to them that much, but I know they're still there, and I've lost contact with them, like all of us did. And we don't know what's happening there. They could be dead. They could be alive.
Jesus. Chime in, anyone. But no, right now it's obviously we're definitely trajectorying towards World War III.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crystal clear now. I mean, people can live in denial all they want. I mean, the Palestine Hamas thing. Then you got war in Ukraine, Russia, Taiwan, China are just like eyeing each other across the fence, like getting ready to go. This country's pretty fucking fractured. Let's be honest. I don't know, just the political divide, the left and the right and everything. And
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. Sometimes I feel like it's just people's obsession for materials. Like, I want this thing for myself and myself only, is what creates all these situations and the mess that's happening all around.
So you're against capitalism.
It is, and it's all linked. And as you said, like making people laugh on the dark stuff doesn't mean that we don't care about what's happening in the world. It's just that we don't want people to always think about that thing in a negative way. Like, I still remember I did this stereotypical Indian joke. So I was punching down on myself, actually. And I posted a snapshot of that online, and a guy who's presumably Indian as well, right? He goes, "You're doing stereotypical jokes." I was like, okay. And then he goes, "Yeah, go back, do your Indian accent." I was like, "Do you want me to do stereotypical jokes or not?" So people are confused as well. So they don't exactly know what's happening.
Oh yeah,
what they want.
People are fickle too. They might have a comment. They don't even really have anything behind that. They just said it because they saw you performing, and they're just kind of jealous or whatever the emotion is, or deep down maybe they're thinking, oh man, maybe it's another Indian guy, and he's like, man, I wish I was a comedian, and you know,
Right.
he's just maybe he's just hating. You
Or-
never know, right?
I think the thing is these days, the amount of information that we've just been getting in is unmatched, right? I don't think across human history, I believe we've been around for like 200,000 years. None of these generations had to go through the amount of news, you know, that gets just like thrown at you every time.
And most of it's garbage.
And the thing is,
that
when
we
people
know of,
see
that we know of, though.
they feel like they should have an opinion about everything that's going on, and that's not true, because you can never have an opinion about everything that's going on. I mean, like, and the thing is, I feel like I've seen this a lot here, the conversations like between right and left, but the truth is, you shouldn't be married to any of these views. Like, you should like certain stuff about the right, the left, you know, and just be who you are. You don't have to be labeled as a conservative or a liberal, because guess what? Like, today, there's a politician that talks really well, and people are super happy, right, with them. And then after, I don't know how long has it been, 8 years, you know, people are like, they're not happy, you know. People change their minds, they change their opinions.
Like, this might sound dumb, but I don't exactly know what left and right means. Like, for me, sometimes it's just like I feel this is right and this is wrong. That's all. It can come from either side. And that's what people need to do more, rather than marrying to one thought. Is like, if I'm a leftist, I'll always believe in this, even though if it's wrong or not. So I don't know, this might sound like a simple cure, but you need to think this is right or not. That's all. No left or right.
Yeah, well, to piggyback off of what Omar was saying, it's there's spectrums, right? Like the whole right left thing. I mean, it's if people don't really understand the exact definitions, it's okay because it's complicated. But there's extreme right and then extreme left.
Yeah.
Most of us are in the middle, swinging slightly like this, right? Like we have some conservative values and some liberal values. Like, you know, that's why it's impossible to take a side and stay consistent with it, because you're going to find your own hypocrisies. You know, like one minute you might, I don't know, say you're some guy like, hey, I don't like a certain type of person, whatever, whether it's gender, race, or whatever. But then one day you have that one friend who happens to be, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I guess I did like that, you know, and then you don't even know why you didn't. I mean, we're so freaking complicated, man. Like it's like half the time, you know, I don't have an answer to any of this mess, but it's definitely. Not to get all conspiracy, but it's manipulatable for sure. You know, like just if you're like some world leader guy, all you gotta do is swerve the money a certain way, and all of a sudden everyone's going to be in an uproar, right? It's like tax the rich by X amount, then obviously they're going to be pissed, right?
Yeah.
And then you know, so it's like these little tweaking the money system is what I've noticed we're being like heavily manipulated into. So, but who knows what's going on? Maybe it's aliens.
Thing is,
probably.
You know?
No, like I try to always pitch that. I mean, most of us care about what we put in our bodies in terms of food, right? Like, you have a sense of taste and sense of smell that will tell you if that food is bad or you're not supposed to eat it. I feel like we should treat the knowledge that we gain or the news that we get in the exact same way. Use that sixth sense of yours to figure out, you can, you know, if it smells bad, it's probably not good to ingest it, you know? So if we can like just think, I feel like, I mean, okay, that might sound harsh, but if we can keep an open mind, I think we'd be at a much better place.
Like, I mean, I have a different. I mean, I agree with you everything, and then but to complement it, it's. I think most people don't have like what do those guys call it? Like a Dr. Phil calls it like an EQ, emotional intelligence, because you can like critically talk about this and be like, oh yeah, but the instant your ego gets involved and it gets riled in, then it's like it's a whole other ballgame. You can have all the intelligence in the world, but you know, because right now, I mean, even Anton right there, we just mentioned Ukraine thing, and right, he's Ukrainian, so he has a crazy attachment to it, right? So he's gonna have to fight off his like patriotism before he can like come to that like middle ground to analyze the argument at hand. And we're all guilty of that. Like me, like I myself am too. And like right here, the podcast, we all sound so like intelligent talking about it, but we're in like a safe position. We're not in the actual scenario. Exactly. So it's like once we see ourselves in the scenario, then that's the real test of like what you actually know. What are you actually doing about it in real time, right? Like, you know, like Omar, like you're a big MMA guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, as an example, so Hamza Chimaev fought on the weekend, right? Did you hear his post-fight speech?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so that was a beautiful speech, right? Do you guys follow MMA? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Hamza's a Chechnyan fighter, grew up in the war in the 90s.
He's a Chechen?
He's from Chechnya.
Oh, damn.
But then he got refugeed into Sweden. Long story short, now he's like basically a top 5 fighter in the world. But he's a pretty hardcore dude. Like he even said many times, like had he not found martial arts, he leans towards like extremist groups because of his hatred towards his upbringing and all the trauma and shit. But what I'm trying to say again is, after the fight, he took his mic, he won his fight, and he just said like, "Hey guys, like Jewish, Christians, like white, black, like America, like Ukraine, like Palestine, Hamas, whatever." It's like he's like, everyone just get along, like because right now, like I know firsthand what it's like to see kids dying, and right now kids are dying, But then 2 seconds later, he puts up an Instagram photo of him and the Chechnyan warlord leader who literally kills homosexuals all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here like, okay, so in that moment he said what he actually felt, but his ego in play, he still favors like a Chechen patriotism, which is a right wing extreme group, right?
If because he said stuff in Russian after he was done, and I saw the translation to that.
Yeah,
and he was basically saying to the Chechnyan president, like God bless you, God bless Chechnya.
Oh, I love the guy already.
Give me what's that?
I love the guy already.
Yeah, I know. And he was like, give me a rifle and put me in Palestine, and I will fight.
Yeah,
And I feel like he felt safer saying that. Although he was in Abu Dhabi, which is it's like UAE in general is a very not conservative, pro-Palestine country, so people would be on board. But he still chose to not say that in English, and he said it in Russian.
So that just shows he has different sides to his personality. I mean, like, just again, in the fighting thing, like John Jones, best fighter in the world, biggest scumbag, right? Also deluded, like literally has like 5 personalities, and so I mean, we're all like that, that's the scary part, just when you think we're having like a good, wise conversation, like that 2 seconds later, any 4 of us could be doing lines off a hooker's ass, and it's like, I'm like, oh, guess I wasn't that good of a guy after all, Well, maybe not Sukh.
I like how the conversation just started by, "Are you guys happy or not?"
Yeah. Well, is everyone here happy?
Oh, I'm feeling happy now.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question for you boys. Like, just getting to know you guys a bit more. Like, do you guys have regular jobs, or are you guys all in comedy, and you make your living off comedy now?
I do have a regular job, and I think everyone here has.
I think the only one in this room. Well, I know, I'm not speaking on Tehseer's behalf, but I know, Tehseer is the one that is doing comedy.
Oh, yeah,
full in now. Yeah,
he's full time into it now.
Yeah. So, Tehseer and Ben actually shot a podcast out of here, like their show, their first one. And,
yeah.
So I got to produce it and hear it. Tehseer. I guess Tehseer's at a point now where he has enough gigs and I guess decent enough income. So I was like, fuck, good for you, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys all? Is that all? What you guys are all trying to get to then? Like, so you guys don't have to work your regular jobs? Or?
Ideally, yeah.
One day, yeah.
Yeah.
No, not for me.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's like I need an escape from my day job. Not that it's not good enough for me. It's just like I feel sometimes I can do something better than this. Which is like talking to people and doing different things every day.
Yo, make sure that doesn't go out to your boss at work.
I really don't care enough because here's the thing.
Do you want to share what you do? I always chop things out.
Sorry?
Do you want to share what you do as a day job?
I'm a data scientist for my day job.
Okay.
Which sounds fascinating, is fascinating from the outside. But when you do it...
So you look up what's the keyword in Pornhub used the most, basically.
Probably I can do that. I can give you...
We actually did look that up. We had another data guy.
Oh, yeah. I can give you probably good recommendations on what porn to watch. And it'll be good for you guys.
Did you guys know what's the number 1 search keyword in Pornhub for Canada IP addresses is?
No.
I was taken by surprise because, me personally, I don't really watch this. It's hentai, apparently.
It's what?
Hentai, yeah.
Nice.
Like literally by a landslide. I was sitting there I would thought step bro, step sis, or something like that.
But it was hentai. To ask a question that might take this into a very dark direction.
Please do.
Sure, we were both talking about Pornhub, but go on. Yeah.
Is is the society so disconnected from one another? Because back in the day, they were like, don't watch porn because, you're not in connection with that person physically, right? And then now, not even that, but people are fantasizing over, not like shaming anyone or whatever, but like people are fantasizing
Cartoon octopuses, literally.
octopuses, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm never gonna watch.
Hey, so you
anime.
have seen it? No.
No, literally, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, are we at that point? Like, is society super disconnected from one another?
I think we are, because with the
We absolutely are.
with the virtual stuff releasing these days, metaverse and all that coming out,
Right.
and people are so obsessed with like the online presence, like the virtual presence, not the online one. Like I was reading this story the other day where somebody sued a guy because he said something in metaverse to that person. I was like, who gives a fuck?
Yo.
It's not
Did,
like
did he sue him in like real life court or like
Hold on,
metaverse?
guys.
Real life- real
Educate
life
me. The
code.
metaverse it's like a hologram interaction, right?
It is.
So
is.
it'd be like us wearing goggles doing this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but, well, hold on.
It
Like,
failed.
Sukh,
It
that is.
completely failed.
Oh, it's not going to get better.
No, VR is getting better,
Yeah.
but the whole Zuckerberg metaverse thing just
Yeah.
failed completely. They have no users for that.
Okay,
Unless,
well, for
unless
now,
they like
right?
find the right chip.
it's a good thing that they
To
don't
put
have
into our
users, because
bodies.
like the stuff they advertised was like I thought it's crazy, because like you can buy land in metaverse, you can have
It's
your
literally the Matrix, except it's like crappy graphics.
exactly
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, but Sukh, if you're saying, but think about it, like say we didn't meet up here, and I'm like, hey, let's meet up in the metaverse for the Kaks Bar podcast, and then over there, like you make fun of me there or whatever. Like it's the same as saying in person, in my opinion.
It is.
You know, or do you have different avatars?
You have different avatars.
You
You
can
don't
come up with whatever.
I don't
You
know.
come up with okay, wait,
Do you know
Yeah,
VR
I don't know who
chat?
I'm talking to. All I know is this is a person, right? Totally random, and
fuck, this is getting deep. Because if we go in with different avatars, say I went in there and in this version of Shawn, I look like LeBron James with Brad Pitt's face, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
in that world, I'm no longer Shawn. I'm going to interact with people like Brad Pitt on LeBron James' body, right? You know what I mean?
And if you
Like,
look at it in that way, you are also playing people over. Like
Yeah.
you're not giving your true identity to them. So I don't feel like people are obliged to like respect you in a way they should
because
do
we're
in
not
person.
real. We're not talking to a real person.
not talking
so
to
no
a real
one's real.
person.
Okay, I guess you're right. Well, then who gives a fuck in that way? But if it's like if it's a metaverse, but it's again us in just
If it's
meeting
like-
in hologram, then
Yeah,
I'm like,
if
no,
it's
that's
like
a real
person.
conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
like,
like-
you should be accountable for your actions if you exactly know who you are talking to. Like I don't know if I'm talking to a real person or not. If it's a bot just
Yeah.
doing random things.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
It's a bot. Yeah. Fact.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. Told you.
Yeah, but Omar, I do agree with no, like we're definitely in a crappy place. Like it's like nothing. People aren't supposed to be this miserable, like
No.
because we're supposed to be one moving around so often that we have those natural dopamine releases just from physical exercise. Because if you think about it, like 150 years ago, life was the gym.
Yep.
Like everything's so physical, like that. Your life is constant movement. Like you're feeling good because you have the endorphins. Like when you go to the gym, right? You're
Right.
breathing heavy, but like we took that away, so now your body's out of whack. And then the amount of people in history, like even like Napoleon or like the greatest kings in the world, it's like you know how much they had to do to see like 1,000 naked women, like, and now you got a 10-year-old kid and go to his phone and he can see like
Yep.
everything that a king
Yeah.
had to like conquer territory for just to see.
Yeah.
And he can so like of course we're desensitized there, and then the amount of food we get for free,
Man.
like it's we're fucked up.
Dopamine's cheap. That's what's going
It
on.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, that's something that I noticed when I moved to a Western country. Is you guys say time is money, right? Back home in Egypt, we say time is like a sword. If you don't cut it, it cuts you.
Explain.
Which, if you look at it, that's basically the most important asset, the most important, I guess, currency that we have is time back home.
Uh-huh.
The memories that you make, the time you spent with your loved ones, the times you're happy, you're sad, the experiences, right? Well, here in the West, that time now has a price. And that just like it changes the equation totally. You know what I mean? Like now we're not using the same scale to measure what we're going through in life.
I kind of like I know what you're saying makes sense. I'm just processing it more because it's a very broad thing too that you said. I'm trying to like in real. I don't know. Like I just feel like I don't know. We're just things are too easy here, but hard at the same time. You know, like it's hard to get more, if you will, but your basic needs are basically met.
Right.
It's just that idea of having more.
The hard part in the West is the luxury. You know what I mean? The hard part where I come from, and I guess like for these two guys too, is surviving.
Mm-hmm. It is,
and that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, and back then survival actually created a quality of life in a way. Yeah. Because think about it, we're just a bunch of cavemen, and the whole day it's going to be taken up for us to go find that one animal, and then the women have to like everyone's roles naturally shape and form, and then the day shapes in a way where it's full of activity from morning to night. And it's like we all like say we're successful in hunting that deer, and then we come back, and then like the women have everything like set up, and then we have a music our comedians entertaining, and everyone gets around a campfire. It's like there's that community, right? But we don't have that anymore.
Everyone knows that they need that community.
Everyone needs each other
because if you're left out alone, something will happen, right?
You literally die.
These days, I'm not saying set the world on fire, but I'm saying it's too safe. And I'm not talking like too safe as in physically someone hurting you, but too safe intellectually. People don't think enough. Too safe when it comes to putting food on the table, you know?
Like exactly, but like back home, it's still about survival.
Yeah.
Luxury comes way after in your life. But back home, it's still survival. And as Omar said, here people are like struggling for luxury.
Yeah.
Back home, it's all about survival.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of like that caveman living that you have to.
It's a weird paradox though, because this is what everyone who struggled was trying to get to. It's just now that we're here, it's like
and we're all miserable.
Yeah, your bodies aren't like the relationship roles, everything's out of whack. Like the people aren't supposed to be like divorced all the time like this, you know? Like you're supposed to have bonded with someone, gone through some shit. And it's so like personal that there's no way you'll leave them because like you bonded with them so hard. But now from what I understand, this has happened many times through the entire history of existence. Like it's like for all we know, like there was ancient civilizations that were just as advanced as this and probably blew itself up, and then we restarted over and over and over. Like this probably happened a million times already. You know,
when things get too easy, man become soft. Man, women, everyone. It's just not going to work out for a long time. Mm-hmm. And the main problem right now, we don't have communities, as you said. Like we have online, we have internet, we have all this social media. It doesn't work. It's useless in terms of providing a real physical sense of community. It will never work.
Okay, but do we not innovate then? You know what I mean? Like look the fact that we're doing this is all from that, right? That's where I get confused.
This is amazing.
I feel like it's meant to be. Like I was reading this quote and it said like soft times create soft people, and then soft people create hard times create hard people, and then the circle goes on and on. So it's meant to be. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah,
it just sucks that we're living through the soft times part, and like we are all soft no matter how tough we think we are. Like compared to I don't know, just like again, like imagine 100 years ago, this would be the conversation's not like, hey guys, you want to get together and talk leisurely and record it? Like it's literally like, hey, let's like we're about to go to war. Like, hi Omar, that was a great fucking sleepover we had. But I may not see you again. This girl I just met, like I just saw her vagina once, and now I gotta go away. And it's like I really don't want to, but I like now I'm obligated to go into this trench with. You know, and like, and even then, like, people found a way to stay sane. Well, actually, a lot of them didn't, but you know. So, I don't know.
I just have too much. I can take up a whole day talking about this stuff.
Do whatever.
No, because I don't know, man. I feel like there's
What's the solution? Does anyone have a solution to this?
I don't think there
I don't
is.
think we have like a solution for everybody. It's like an individual thing where you feel like you should do what's best for you, keeping in mind you don't disrespect or harm anyone else.
But how?
That's-
Everything everyone
that's-
does
that's what you have
disrespects them.
to-
You
that's
guys
what
are
you-
comedians. Half of their jokes somehow is harming and disrespecting someone.
I would say
always,
like
not half of them. It's like 100% of them are.
You know?
The thing is, I think what we can do at this point is, I think we just need to slow down in general. A lot of times we're just like too carried away. Because I was out east just like last week. I was in PI, Nova Scotia and stuff, and it just like nothing changed. Like I was still doing my job. I was still, I was there for work, but it was just a slower pace, and that really helped me be like, okay, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen, And I feel like if people start doing this a little bit more, take more breaks, and think about where you are in life, it becomes just way easier. I don't know.
I have a different answer to that, but I'm in a different situation than almost everyone I know. But like, because like me and my business partner, we dive into full blown entrepreneurship. Like we don't open this business and it's all in. Like it's
That's awesome,
every second is dependent on whether we succeed or not. It's dependent on how much work we put in and how much we're learning, how much we're growing. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm the happiest I've ever been because my routine is all encompassing. Like I wake up with super purpose. Like there's not a second to waste. Like every moment I'm just thinking like, hey, like, like how do we get sales? Like what's the fair price of beer? Like how do we sell this? And then how do we make the vibe here good so that it's not this place where we serving alcoholics. It's a place of celebration. Like, I'm doing podcasts. I'm meeting so many people and then I still work out. Like I think the key is everyone needs to find their super goal. And have that thing like be all encompassing because that will create that kind of hard work that is needed that simulates what we all did in the past for basic survival, which would be just hunting and shit basically. But most people can't find their super goal, right?
Like I agree to like both of you. I have this understanding for myself is like work as hard as you can, but then if you fail in what you are working towards, you have to relax. Like you have to like let go of some failures and learn from that.
Slowing down doesn't mean you're not working.
No,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like you're still doing your thing. You're just slow, like mentally. You're in a
like we have in our
slower
culture we have this saying where it goes, do your work, leave everything to God. I believe in God, right? So it's like do your work, leave everything to God. If you succeed, it's good. If you don't, learn from it, keep moving forward, but then don't rush into things.
I fuck man, like this is now we're diving into like a really, like I was thinking about this the other day, but that whole leave it to God thing, like to say, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna do as hard as I can and I'm gonna let go of my attachment to the result because it's out of my control. But I keep realizing like we're all connected. Like if like knock on wood here, but like if this business fails, as in at knock on wood, it's like I hit bankruptcy. What does bankruptcy do? It affects my spouse. What does that do to people who don't have jobs here anymore? What does it do to the landlord here who now has to come up with more money to tear apart this bar or restaurant to build it? Like the amount of actual like problems it causes, and like it's not okay just to be like I left it to God, bro. Like bye. Like all these people are now like in another scramble. It's like I actually look at it more like it's do your work and like become so all encompassing in your manifesting to like because like so many people are counting on you to succeed. Right. It's like that's an example, I think. But if it's another goal where it doesn't really affect anyone but you, then I could say like definitely like chop all emotion out. Like if you start to have those weird depressive thoughts, just literally be like, this doesn't affect anyone but me, and I'm choosing not to let this affect me. Yeah. And as an example might be I don't know, like say your parents have money and you're like, I want to be a dancer. And then you like, and then you go out and you're the shittiest dancer ever, and
that's me.
Like that might be one where you can like, you see him beating himself up, you can be like, hey man, like it's like you failed, but like just get better at dancing, try again, but because it doesn't really affect anything, right? But it's different if fucking tomorrow, like the world leaders of each country in wars, like, I'm just gonna do the best that I can and leave it to God. And you see him like relaxing with a mojito, being like, I tried, bro. Like, everything's fine.
Oh,
like,
it's not like,
no, man, like you failing
like
actually
you
detrimented everything.
You have to keep going. Like, you have to keep on trying.
Is this dark comedy you just did there?
Huh?
Because I feel like that's what world leaders do anyway.
They
just sit back and they're like, leave it up to God.
I can't even begin to think, like, if they're actually good people, there's no way they are not just consumed with cortisol every second. Like, every decision they make, it's like it's either fucking over a million people or like it's like, how do they sleep at night? Like, I don't know. Like,
I think a good solution to that, it's because I fucking hate war, man. Like, I haven't seen war, but I've seen what it's like for people to get shot and killed and whatnot. And I feel like if leaders, like, they want to hash it out, they should fight till death. Let the people, like, let the civilians stay out of it, and then you'll have, like, I don't know. Like,
so you say it's a leader versus leader thing.
Exactly.
Like Troy style, like Achilles, you take
on
exactly.
I think like they figured it out.
That's actually a good solution, though.
I don't know, but that's not a real solution because it's like, great, my guy lost. Anyway, I still have a lot of tanks, so I have to go back on my deal. like it's like we're going at it. I don't know. I think it's a mess. I don't think there's like a winnable solution to this. We're just built with hypocrisies, man. Like, it fucking sucks. And it's just that time where we're at this bubble that's about to burst because there's all these tension and disagreement, and it's just, again, like, I mean, like, all things considered, it's been 100 years since the last well, not 100 years, but like, you know, like 80 something years since the last world war, right? So for, in a way, we did good for this era of not having it be full-blown global conflict, but it's heading there now.
That's happened because of America. Because America was there with the biggest stick, with the biggest, strongest army on the planet, and it kept order. It prevented World War III, literally. And right now, if we don't have America, again, I'm not pro-American anyway. Like,
no, you're right. We need a dominant force to keep the shit in check.
If we don't have a dominant force dominating everyone else, we're going to have more and more of these strong regional... Look at what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. If America was really set on not allowing this to happen, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
thousands of people wouldn't die.
And you're right, Anton, because now the big stick is someone else has a big stick now. Now, you know, like, actually a bunch of people have sticks now, and like, you know, China's pretty fucking like ready to go now, and
there's all this infighting in America, the right, the left, whatever. It's a mess. And one thing I really don't like, though, that kind of pisses me off, is the whole say no to war. The people that are just against anti-war. We don't like war. Stop the war. Stop it. Like, it's a bad thing.
They sound like a bunch of children.
Of course, it's a bad thing, but that's not like people who say
it's not realistic.
Yeah, especially in my case, when people say, "Oh, there should be a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. They should stop the war in Russia and Ukraine." It's like,
but then what happens?
That's not how it works. If we stop fighting war in Ukraine against the Russians will genocide us and kill pretty much every single last one of us, kidnap our children, you know, brainwash them.
It's funny that you're mentioning that, because that's exactly what's going on in Gaza right now.
Well, you also see, like... Oh, go on.
Sorry. I was just going to say, like, back to your point about...
hentai? No,
let's go back to hentai.
We should go back to hentai.
We will. It's the number one search word tonight.
Lost my train of thought.
Technically, according to stats, 1 in 4 of 3 of us here are lying. One of us in this room looks at hentai.
Like, you know, you're saying something about, I believe, like, biases and stuff. You're saying something about biases and whatnot. And I think it's fine as long as we all have our biases and as long as we acknowledge them. Like, when people talk to me, like, I get passionate about certain topics, right? People are like, "Oh, you're biased." I'm like, "Yes, I am." You know, and it's okay to recognize it, as, you know, because when you recognize it, you know how to put an end to it. You won't act on it. You know.
I think. Go on. Yeah.
I was like, I think. You're right on the bias thing. Like, instead of figuring out what I'm biased towards, try figuring out why I'm biased towards it, to probably like understand the thought process I have, and maybe have a good, healthy conversation and educate both ends, both parties in this situation, to, like, come up with a good solution for both.
Dude, I'll simplify it even easier. This is the way I understand. At the end of the day, someone has to lose. That's the problem. Like in all disagreements, someone has to lose, literally adopt the other person's thinking, and it's like, who's going to compromise? Who's going to voluntarily lose?
That's the hardest thing.
But I don't think you can. That's why I think we're built for war. And I don't know, like I have a mushroom here for reasons because, like, you know, I've taken like the psychedelic, the hero dose they call it, like a couple times, 7 grams of mushrooms, and it was like because I had a psychedelic friend who's anyway. But what I experienced there was that ultimately, like it's like, I'm just trying to simplify it as best I can here, but we are actually God. God is this one super thing trapped in itself. And it's like actually gone insane because it's literally there all the time. It can't go anywhere. It's like doesn't know what to do. It's like it's at peace, but it's not because it's everything. So what it did is it simulated so many hypocritical entities, as in like evil, good, up, down, right, left. You know, like dick, vagina. Like it's like, and they created like this perfect like web that balances itself and is always interfacing with itself for like some kind of adventure, so that it's like consistently distracted. And then it cycles where it's like it gets so crazy that everyone goes to war, but then everyone goes in peace. And when peace gets boring, it goes back to war. And then you bring things in the mix. Like at one point, it was just doing it off subgroups called races in different sections of the world. Now all of a sudden you're mixing the races. Next thing you know, it's going to be aliens. It's everything is actually supposed to be like this, as scary as it sounds. And then when your consciousness dies out of your form and emerges back into God, it's almost like it was all a bad dream. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, back to the dream again because I'm bored. You know, like that's kind of what I saw, which is also kind of depressing, right?
No, I like how you explain what you saw, because we have this. We used to say this always, like God is in everybody.
Yeah.
So we actually believe this, like God is in everybody. So before saying something to someone, think about that.
Yeah.
Right. And if you like believe in God, and if you even don't believe in God,
well, it's just the definition confuses people.
It's just a definition.
Like, most people think it's Mr. Clean in the sky, right? I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, God is within us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's how you treat yourself, how you treat other people, is how you're gonna get judged. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
and I've never done mushrooms, so I don't know what you were saying there.
Yeah.
I would love to after what you said.
Yeah. It was a lot. What I said sounds very cryptic to people who, like, my vocabulary can only go so far in explaining what I saw, but it's I can try to dissect it more.
Just to make this clear, we condemn all forms of illegal drugs in the country of Canada.
Oh, we do. Like I don't
mushrooms
do.
are illegal.
I don't do it. Yeah, I told you I don't do it.
Okay.
This is a podcast. Everything I'm saying could be a complete fucking lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, no, it's true. Lie, true. Who knows? Anyway,
yeah.
It's like
allegedly, I would love to try it.
Mark Huberman.
Yeah.
What's his
Andrew
name?
Huberman?
Andrew Huberman.
Yeah.
No, Mark.
Yeah.
I mixed two people up.
Yeah. What about him?
What's that?
What about him?
No, I'm just saying. Hopefully that helps with the algorithm on YouTube.
Oh, just saying his
name. Yeah,
because
he's very popular.
Yeah, true.
Andrew Huberman.
Yeah. We just started saying popular.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Hey, Anton, just back to you here for a second. You're when you say that you make a lot of like war jokes and everything like that. Is it, if the circumstances weren't like that, would you say your humor still would lean towards that? Like, do you always look for that?
I always went for the dark stuff. Like, since I was little, I was always fascinated by death, by weird shit.
Interesting.
So,
interesting.
And naturally, I did jokes about it.
I'm learning new stuff about him today. Fascinated by death.
No, I'm just
allegedly.
I'm super impressed at the way we kind of like got out of the dark pool, and Anton was like, "Nope, just jump right back."
That's the best stuff. If you don't make fun of that, like death is the ultimate answer to everything. Like, it doesn't matter really what you do.
What I saw here, there's no real death, bro.
But
there's no death. You think it is.
If you can make peace with that, that's it. Your life is good, because nothing can really scare you as much. Nothing can really stress you out as much, because okay, at some point it's all going to be over. And at that point, hopefully, you'll be able to look at the life you lived, and you're not going to have too many regrets, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's the best you get.
like what you just said there. It's always a weird one because if you're saying, "Oh, it's going to be over," and then I can look back, that means you're not dead. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
Not yet.
yeah, it's like your conscience is just trapped in a state of review, but which is actually why I also do what I do, because I'm like, I just realized when I took that thing, I was like, regret is a motherfucker, and like David Goggins actually talks about this. Like I know it'll haunt you forever.
That's
like
the worst thing.
dude, I think most people are like homeless on the street. They're just full of like regret, ego. Like it's this massive like list of fucking up until they have no more dignity left, and they're just this like enslaved zombie on the street needing dopamine because they can't escape their own mind, really. And like we've all had samples of that insanity, man. Like it's like but I don't know. But the death thing, I'm not afraid to die anymore ever. Like I really am not, But what I am afraid of is like leaving people I love and care about in a shitty situation that potentially like I got them into, that's what I would fucking hate. Like say you knocked up a girl tomorrow and then, like you have no money or whatever because, you shit's tied into whatever, our business, and then you die. It's like, now you're just leaving them in a fucked up situation. I know many people, like not many, I know a few people who have that, and it's quite fucking sad because their loved ones are like, they didn't take the time to develop skills while the main guy was there providing a living, and then now they're like they're destitute. They're actually destitute. Like went from having a house to like repossess one's living with grandma and this and just because like the dude is gone, like that's what my fear is. Like, but even that, it's like, what can you do about it?
Life insurance.
You cannot,
Life insurance, true.
Life
true,
insurance.
true.
You work in finance.
Free advertising.
You work in finance, eh?
Do you actually work in finance, Omar?
What's that?
Do you actually work in finance?
No,
Oh.
I work in energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was a surface land guy.
Oh,
Yeah. Not the land man. I was the administrator, but I hated it.
Yeah, I know.
I hated every second of it.
Why?
It's fucking the most boring job ever. Well, it's hard, but it's boring. It's just sitting there like, like the landman's out in the field, like having all the fun. You're just back there like, it's almost like they're detectives after like solving a case. You're like, do my paperwork, You're like, oh shit.
Oh, nice.
This is boring. Fuck, I gotta do this all till I'm 60. Like, fuck
Dude, that
shit.
scares me, man.
Yeah.
That 9-to-5 life is scary.
Oh, dude, I had full blown depression from it. Like I had to go get a counselor and then take some time off. I fucking hated that, and I didn't even know at the time. Like I was so proud. I was sitting there like, man, like I basically was forced to, and it's like literally like I hated using that word mental health issues, but I literally was like, I don't feel good 24/7 because subconsciously I'm doing this thing with the majority of my time that I don't give a fuck about. Just so I can make money to go do what I give a fuck about for only 2 days out of the week. Like, I was like,
it reminds me of the situation I was in when I started comedy, because like when I moved to Canada, I had no thoughts of doing anything other than studying, getting a 9-to-5, and then living my life happily ever after.
But you guys came from a survival situation, so that sounds pretty sweet, right?
Yeah,
but once you're doing it, it's not pretty sweet. All of a sudden, survival situation might have been better.
I did my master's. I started hunting for a job. Actually, data scientist was my dream job. I got into it. 3 months after that, I was like, I'm going to die. Allegedly.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need to find an escape from this. And then I started doing comedy because
But you're always just a funny guy, wherever you went.
I believe that. My friends always said that. But I never like told jokes intentionally. It's like we're having a conversation, things come up, and I always have a funny perspective on things.
Right.
And then I started writing, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Right. And exactly 9-to-5, I feel like it's a trap. It's a trap in a sense that it.
Not for everyone. Not for everyone.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If you're a timid guy and you don't like talking to people, and you're like, man, I just want to do something so I can go play my video games for the rest of the day.
There's nothing bad in
that's
doing.
For you, then,
No,
there's nothing bad in doing a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad.
Was
But
it
I
for
felt
me?
inside. I felt like I'm gonna lose my mental health if I don't do anything else.
I just noticed it was like I don't know, like I like going to the gym and stuff. Like I work out. It's like I wasn't working out my mind anymore because it was full of what they call busy work. Like you're just busy doing shit that, and it takes up all your energy. And I just remember being like, this can't be it. Like, I just, this can't be it. Like I fucking hate this. Like, but I was like, can't believe I went to school, got a degree, and all this fucking shit. Like,
it's scary, I guess, when, for me at least, it's like I love my job. Like I honestly enjoy what I do.
The comedy, you mean?
No, like I mean like my 9 to 5.
Imposter.
Okay.
No, I honestly.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you do in energy?
Yeah, no, I do like community energy planning, and I help communities with their like reducing their emissions and all of that. And I find value in this.
You don't have to say which company, but do you work for a big company or junior
company?
It's
we're a nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's like I really enjoy it, and I'm like I'm pretty well versed. And what's scaring me is like I don't want to keep doing that 9 to 5. Like I'm super okay, kind of going on my own and trying my own thing. But it's scary, like just stepping out of that, or not having that security. Is a bit scary, especially. For myself, like I don't have a safety net. Like if things go south, they go south.
No one really does right now.
Yeah.
How expensive everything is. There's no such. I think what was a fucking calculation? I think Tehseer was saying this to me. He said he read somewhere that you basically have to make now like over $100K just to be able to like buy a shitty house. Or something.
That's
it. So fuck. Like I mean, it's.
Oh, I was also
terrible.
reading this today that they introduced a bill for discussion in Parliament for like I think it's a monthly income kind of thing for everybody.
Like universal basic income.
It's not like universal basic income, but it's something different. So universal basic income is like setting an income for everyone.
Right.
But then the thing they introduced is like this is what you need for survival. Like this is what you need as a person. Like individually, I need this much for survival.
Are you saying funds for very specific things?
Exactly.
Okay.
And they are like up for discussion, and I don't know how that will be beneficial.
I don't know either because I run a bar restaurant, so I'm like, well, if you're giving everyone gourmet chicken wings, why the fuck would they come here for ours? It's like like I don't know, man. All I know is Serb. Look, allegedly, it's like almost everyone I knew just used it on booze and drugs. Like it was like I'm like
you were not supposed to use it on drugs.
Why didn't you read the fucking thing when they sent it to you?
I just clicked drugs.
Like I was just like I would much rather go in debt to my own family than be in debt to the government. So I didn't apply to any of this. I was like, you know what, like
I just took it, but I paid it back. Like I paid back the tax or whatever.
Right,
so I'm free from that. But almost everyone I know still hasn't paid that back allegedly.
No, I got friends that are being audited. Like it's bad, and they're asked to like pay back thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but same with my friends. But also the from what I understand, the Serb thing, like they're in some weird limbo where they didn't pass the consequence. Like they just said, hey, you still owe that. And it's like, okay, when? They're like, I don't know. I'll call you later. They're like, hey, well, I'll pay it when you tell me. They're like, okay. So no, and like all it did was cause inflation, So I'm like, fuck, man. Well, my economic friend tells me, no, actually, Shawn, like it was so little because it's so little compared to the actual amount of GDP or whatever. He's like, it wasn't actual inflation from that. But I'm like, okay, I don't know, man. But either way, something's fishy. Right. Like an influx of free cash printed out of thin air that's not based on anything. Yeah, it's going to devalue it.
Yeah.
So fuck, I don't know, man.
Something I just want to like. I just realized I said when I said go to my parents or family, we're not super well off. It's super hard to get money overseas. Just to make it very clear, like
exactly.
I can see someone being like, "Oh, you're so privileged."
I believe
well, you can borrow from your parents. It's just clarifying that. It's super hard to.
Well, I think it would make more clarification if we knew what the number was. If you're saying borrow $20,000, I'm like, whatever, right?
But
you're like, I need to borrow $500,000, my entire parents' retirement, so I can chase my dream building a dance factory.
If I had that kind of money, I'd probably be like, I don't know, in LA doing comedy by now. I know, man. Like you can do a lot of stuff with money.
No, even $20,000 is tough sometimes. Because back home, the value money has is significantly lower than what Canadian dollar is, right? So even $20K asking from your parents is tough sometimes.
It's all
Oh, yeah.
the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they
It's a
cannot
lot
print
of money.
it through thin air, right? So
Yeah, not like, well, they literally do that here.
Yeah.
So, stopped making sense a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Anyway, Omar, Sukh, and Anton, tell me the origins of the Deportables here. Like, let's get back. It's good to get to know you guys. Talking about perspectives on life and everything. But right, how did the Deportables form? How did this comedy group form here?
correct me guys if I'm wrong, but initially we all had like a thought of going on a tour, like on their own,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
On their own. And then we met a couple times. We were like, okay, guys, we should go like on a tour together. Spend some time on how to do it, where to do it, when to do it. The biggest question was, what should we name it? And then Mr. Omar comes up with an absolute dime of an idea. Guys, let's name it the Deportables. And we never left that name behind.
Yeah.
It was like, bang on.
Because I have a joke where I say, like, I talk about the government in Canada, and then I'm like, and then people get excited usually. So I'm like, okay, just like calm down. I'm still deportable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
But we actually, like, when we advertise our stuff, we actually have this kind of like a line going with the poster is like, the Deportables are in your town. Catch them before the government does. So we find it hilarious. I don't know about.
It is fucking hilarious.
I don't know about.
Well, the
other
question is,
people.
what are you guys doing? This
Yeah,
gonna get you guys
yeah.
deported, right? Well, actually, probably just saying the wrong fucking thing, But
No.
because free speech is
The thing
taking a
is,
beating in this
like,
country.
we're pretty open minded. We are, I don't know, like, catch them before the government does. I mean, in reality, 2 of us are still technically deportable.
Deportable, yeah.
And all 4 of us were not born in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, we moved to Canada.
Yeah,
At varying stages of life.
So I feel like it's as a group, it's like a collective story of every individual trying to transition into Canada, and as Omar said, like, we are open to everything. Like, we are open to every thought. We respect everybody, but we want to tell people that this is what we are going through as an immigrant, as a newcomer to Canada. So yeah, that's the Deportables as a group.
No, I love it because you guys obviously have an angle that caters to people who can relate to it. Like, I mean,
Right.
like, my dad was an immigrant. I'm sure, like, hey, Dad, there's a bunch of deportable guys telling comedy. Like, yeah, weren't you like in that position for the longest time here?
That's a lot of people in Canada right now.
Most Canadians are.
Yeah.
We're a mishmash. We're a new house that people all moved into.
Yeah.
Like, Canada's not. Like, that's why we're kind of all fucked up because like our identity is like it's still yet to be determined, and it's not really. I feel like Canada is just like a smaller South America. Like, because like when you think of South America, you got Brazil, like Chile, Argentina, like those, that area it was such a mix of Spanish, Portuguese, Native Indian, like Africans, like and then just a couple hundred years older than North America, and then it mixed into what we now know is South America. And I'm like, Canada's absolutely just trajectorying to that.
Yeah.
Like there's no real identity. Like,
I feel like the thing that people are missing in Canada, or that Canada's missing, is a unifying culture.
Well, hockey does.
The United States has that big time. They've got the NFL. So you could be a brand new immigrant, but who's your team on the NFL? The NBA.
Hockey's definitely that for Canada, for the fans, though. For the fans.
Yeah,
but as far as
there's
playing in it,
everyone else.
but as far as playing it goes, no, it's absolutely still segregated to like
I would say like
rich
still,
white folk or like white folk who are like investing loads into the kid.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's getting more multicultural now, but there's definitely a complete political system in how they produce the hockey
like I
players.
still
But the
feel
game
like,
itself is absolutely unifies the country.
like for a newcomer, hockey in Canada can be like confusing sometimes, because back home we have hockey as well, like field hockey as well,
yeah.
right? But I came to Canada. My friends were like, "Hey, you wanna watch a hockey match?" I was like, "Sure."
Hockey match, hockey.
See, and then I have this.
Doesn't matter. It is a match,
Is it
actually.
a
Like,
It is a
just
match,
fucking
right?
call it that.
Is it a cricket match?
Cricket is a match, yeah. Cricket
Yeah,
match.
because football, which is soccer, is a match.
Soccer is a match,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Anyways, sorry,
Yeah.
you're right.
And then they like they put on the game, and I had this thought, like, why do you call this hockey? I believe like you were out of names because all you guys do is boxing, right?
Yeah.
You just box in there with sticks in your hands, trying to kill the person in front of you, allegedly. But then again, as you said, like Americans have NBA, they have NFL. As a newcomer, these are new things to me. So I want to learn these things.
Yeah,
Right?
you dissing hockey will get you deported for sure.
No, and I mean, like, the U.S. doesn't also, like, it's not just sports, like, right? Like, the food. Every state is known for some sort of dish or something.
U.S. also has 300 million fucking people.
That's true.
We have
That's
30
true.
million. You know, the entire Canada fits into California.
Yeah, pretty
You
much
know,
same population.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know, we're just spread out. And like fucking like what's the population in Ukraine? It's literally like it's way bigger than Canada, right?
No, Ukraine
Yeah,
population.
yeah.
It's about actually the same right now.
It's only 33 million.
Yeah, we started at around 52 million, I think, at our independence in 1991, and then it's been shrinking. And right now, during the war, it shrunk by another around 10 million people, I think.
Oh Jesus!
So-
just all refugeeing out of there.
Yeah,
So where are they at?
everywhere. Many of them in Canada. Canada accepted like 300,000, I think, right now.
Wow.
And total of, I think,
Oh, there's a lot in this building.
there's a lot.
Yeah,
A total of
like, yeah.
number of approved applications for Canadian for Ukrainian refugees to Canada right now has been around 800,000.
Yeah, no, I met a lot of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the photographers that did our reel. Yeah, he's from
So
straight
what's
from Ukraine.
the total population of Ukraine then?
Right now, I don't know for sure. I think around 35 million. at
Yeah,
the
so
most.
Canada has
Tiny
more
numbers.
people.
Yeah.
So pretty much the 5 million moved from Ukraine to Canada.
Tiny
'cause Canada
numbers,
was 35
guys.
a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
shrunk. It shrunk, and it'll keep shrinking for a while because not everyone who left Ukraine during the war will come back.
Right.
A lot of people will stay. So
We'll stay as in.
as
like-
whatever. Right now, Canada accepted a lot of Ukrainians that are going to stay on the. They're going for the PR stream. They want to become permanent residents.
Oh yeah, I read that too today.
and then citizens.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, Anton, sorry, I need a little more education on this matter here. Like, okay, so just part of my ignorance here. Like, I can only absorb what I can find on the
Yeah,
news
yeah,
from
yeah.
the internet and whatever, like TikTok and stuff. But like Ukraine, like the majority of the war is fought in that like Donbass region area, right?
not
Not
anymore.
anymore. So
Not
like
anymore.
the whole country's kind of like
No,
fucked up. Then,
the
right?
country was invaded from three directions at the start of the war: from the north, from
Yeah.
Belarus, from the south, from Crimea,
Yeah.
and from the east, from Donetsk and Donbass, those areas.
Okay, but that was all bordering near Russia, right?
Yes.
So then,
Well-
what about the whole northeast, the western part of the country?
The
Like,
western part wasn't invaded because there was
Okay.
no Russia there, but it was still under missile attacks. It was still.
oh, really?
Yeah.
So like, is there any? Are the cities there still normal with which people going to work and
No,
shit?
people try
Like-
to live normal life even in cities that are basically like a couple miles from Russia,
Okay.
like Kharkiv.
Would it be kind of like, I know geographically it's not the same distance, but would it be kind of like, oh shit, like Canada's at war, but the war's actually happening all the way out in Nova Scotia, and we're all the way out
Yeah.
here. Like over here, we're still kind of
It
working
would
and
be
just
super weird, but that's exactly how it's going to be. You'd have
Yeah.
war in one part of the country,
Yeah.
and you'd have people playing stand-up shows, doing drugs, drinking
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the other part of the
just
country.
living normally,
Yeah.
and still with a functioning economy.
Trying
Yeah.
to pretend you still have life, and that's kind of
yeah.
We saw that at the Lebanese civil war.
Mhm.
Not like Lebanon's not big.
Yeah.
And there was a civil war going on, and there are neighborhoods in Beirut that are like different, groups of people, and within that, they would still have fun. They would still find
But
a way
what choice
to go
do you
out
have,
dancing,
right? Like
and-
it's like
Yeah.
it just you can honestly, like, again, we're segueing here. I know we're trying to wind it down, but
Yeah.
it's like you can have be in a really shitty situation, like in whatever part of your life. But the reality is, from 9 p.m. to midnight every day of the week, there's nothing you can do about your problems. So,
Mhm.
so everyone just has
Yeah.
fun during that 3
And the
hours.
thing is, like, again, just to acknowledge this, I think that's a pretty privileged way of looking at it. Because right now, my heart goes out to the people in Gaza. What they're going through, they don't have an option.
Yeah,
Like, literally in Gaza City, as of today, 51% of all residential units, 180,000 dwellings have been destroyed.
yeah.
And I'm like, these people don't have a choice, right?
Yeah, like I guess what I'm saying is like, and I get this info from this is World War One movie I saw. It was on Netflix. I forgot what it was called, but it was narrated by a bunch of survivors at the time they copped their voices. These guys are dead for sure now, but they were like, they're all English, and they're talking about like, oh yeah, like Mikey just, like I watched him get blown up, and then that night, I smoked a couple cigarettes, and just thinking about, like the soccer match or whatever. Like I was sitting there like, why is this guy talking about soccer after his kid got like, and then someone actually explained, it's like they became so aware of like, hey, I have to make them control my emotions here. So then like it's wartime, they still crack jokes, like because they've adapted mentally now. They're not sitting there like some of them got shell shocked, that term, where they're actually like completely like but the others are just kind of like literally like it's literally like I don't know if they became emotionally cold or whatever, but they just learned to deal with it.
It again ties up to the first conversation, like how we started it. Like you have to have control over your emotions. If you know something is going to happen, it's going to happen no matter what. Right?
Well, do you guys ever see 300, the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, remember that scene where all those guys, all the Persians were shooting the arrows, right? And then the Spartans, like they put the shield up, and then the one guy starts laughing. He's like, ah, and then he's like, why are you laughing? He's like, because we're actually fighting in the shade. I made a joke earlier. We're fighting in the shade. Exactly. Like, and then everyone starts laughing. I was thinking, like, that's it. Just do that in your life,
right?
But it's easier to go through a tough situation when your when you have a mindset of like a calm person, rather than being pissed all the time and still achieving the same outcome.
I think usually more experience. I think because I can probably do that now, to be quite honest with you. I do have a lot going on in my world, but I just compartmentalize. That's the word.
Yeah.
But could I have done that when I was in my old job? No, because I didn't even build that psychological. I literally developed a fifth toolbox in my mind. It was really awesome. Once I got out of that, I was like, wow, you can actually pull in a different part of your mind, and now you just use that until it's time to work.
A new filter.
Yeah.
I like
it's fucking awesome. But I developed that. And I don't think you can teach that without someone going through shit. The only downside I'd say is people put so much of their life now on the internet, so you can always see from the beginning to when they were depressed to when they're putting on the filter, but you still have to put it on.
It's been a trend these days. If it's not on the internet, you're not going through stuff. That's how things are.
Best example of that is that fucking dork Jake Paul, right? He literally has footage of him boxing like a loser, and now he just carries himself like he's a world champion because he just lives in his own head, right?
Yeah.
But we should all take a lesson from that dork and just do the same thing in your own life, right? Just basically think what you want to think about and just control and with your actions, focus on doing your work, and then just push all the other crap out. I had some chump the other day on YouTube being like your podcast sucks, and I'm sitting there thinking okay, time to use the Jake Paul method. I'm the man. And then I forgot about it till now. Until I brought it
it's
up.
easier to comment sitting in on your couch in the comfort of your home. You can comment anything.
Yeah. That guy probably is in his parents' basement, probably.
Oh, probably.
Guaranteed. It's probably some dork. Okay, guys. The Deportables. All their Instagrams will be in the show notes. Anton, Sukh, Omar. I had a pleasure talking to you guys. I hope you guys come back on the show more, and hope you guys perform at Laughs at Kaks. And Tehseer, get your ass over here next time.
The guy's feeling a little bit under the weather. So
yeah. Thanks for having us. This was awesome.
Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah, we enjoyed the conversation, man. Thanks for having us.
Perfect, guys. Okay, have a good night. Bye.